Hi guys, CinematicLeeSpeaking here. I'm here this evening to say happy Halloween and have my little clown homage to Art the Clown, who we'll speak about in a moment, here to give my review of Terrifier 2. Let me just say, lots to unpack here. If you are a horror fan, you love the genre, it is your wheelhouse, it is your realm, it is your world, you're going to freak out and you're going to absolutely love Terrifier 2. Damien Leone has knocked it out of the park in every respect. I see the good in every film, and knowing what it takes to be behind the scenes and to make a film. And for that respect alone, he absolutely killed it. To say all the positive things. First of all, again, if you are a horror film fan, you are absolutely going to be running to the theater. You might get sick when you're actually there, but that's okay. You're going to absolutely love it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to be talking about it for years to come. This is where Damien has created an absolute trilogy. This is not just going to be a trilogy. It is a trilogy. He can take this for here and ever after if it keeps up at the same wonderful pace of the way the film was made. And that's where the goodness comes in. First of all, the song you just heard, listening on YouTube, The Midnight. The second I heard The Midnight, one of my all-time favorite groups. I love them. Los Angeles is one of my favorites. Listen to them all the time. So to hear that starting out in the opening credit, phenomenal package that it was. It's hard to edit and cut just brilliantly along to the music. I was like, okay, they got me. They pulled me in. I'm into it. So it's Halloween. No better tribute to the holiday than to go and see a horror film, especially a new one that you haven't seen before. So this picks up after the 2016 original Terrifier, where we have this wonderful character, Art the Clown, that is going around terrorizing a young girl and her brother on Halloween evening in Terrifier 2. So they've introduced this great character, Sienna. She's the main character, the protagonist to Art the Clown. Life imitates art and vice versa, so that's where I'm a little fearful, because Art the Clown is the most menacing character to enter horror films, and it's been quite a long time. He's horrifying in the fact that he is a mime. He goes around literally obliterating people, and that's where everyone is getting sick in their seats and absolutely ill, because he is annihilating people. To say that this film is grotesque is an understatement. If you're not a huge horror film fan, you'll be watching most of it with your hands over your eyes. It's you're not going to see much of it. But that's the one trick too, is not only did Damien Leone create this character, this film, that the phenomenal push that he did, that people believed in him enough to have the Indiegogo, fundraising campaign that everyone was thrilled for and wanted to be a part of it and support him and make this film and make it happen. It's unreal. And then for everyone to see that and receive distribution and have it pushed out into the theaters and having it be such a physically grotesque film. I mean, it takes horror and murder and killing and all of his kills to a whole other level. This film was made during the pandemic. He and his team worked tirelessly, as you will see. If depending on where you are in which theaters, they do have a little behind the scenes right after it, which is really interesting, and you should stay to see that. If you stayed and you are watching the entire film, you'll want to see the behind the scenes. It kind of alleviates some of the grossness, if you will, some of the ick factor. But otherwise, the story is wonderful. I love that it's a female, basically warrior. She has her angel wings, which I love. Working at Victoria's Secret for 8 years to earn my angel wings. Angel wings are everything to me. And you'll see just from the opening credits, you know where this is going with Sienna and her wings. She and her brother are dueling with this evil person that we'll talk about. I don't like to give too much away, and we're going to see who wins in the end, good versus evil. They've introduced another character which is going to be insanely popular. I already know that, the Little Pale Girl. Little Pale Girl, I know, is going to be a huge Halloween costume for many years to come, as well as Art the Clown, especially if they're walking down the street accompanying one another. Freak fest. So I think Damien he deserves so much credit, again, to get the distribution. The people believed in him, his vision, his process enough to be able to, like I said, this is going to go on for years to come. You'll see a little cameo at the end it's actually not a cameo, it's a really nice featured part by Chris Jericho at the end, where I don't want to give anything away, but you'll see. You know that this Art the Clown can be a menacing factor for years to come, and he's certainly going to be in our freaking nightmares, I can tell you that. I have to say one thing too is about the sound editing. So obviously I'm telling you I'm in love with the soundtrack. That got me started. But even if you have your hands over your eyes where people are vomiting in theaters, they're getting sick, they're becoming ill, it's a little too much for them, a little too gory, you're going to see no matter what, you're going to hear the brilliance. So the sound editing that he did, so writing, directing, editing is phenomenal. So I have to give him the utmost credit for that. So you're going to hear the squish of the brain, people's spleens being, coming out, like every horrible thing you can imagine, and body parts, etc. You're going to hear that. But that's what's so brilliant. How can you have such excellence in sound editing and your main character, your protagonist, is a mime? Okay, so this is what's unbelievable. So David Howard Thornton is a phenomenal actor, and the fact that to do mime well is incredibly difficult. Just like it's like comedy, drama, to have that fine line. I know that they can really go so far with this of, what's Art's background, what is leading him to this, what's happening. All the different characters will be revealed, I'm sure, like a very bad onion that we're going to be smelling for years to come, I hope. So I hope that it's a Halloween tradition. I am gobsmacked that this was able to be released unrated into the theaters, but it's going to do so well. Our theater's packed already, and that's where that Art the Clown, and vice versa, how it affects life, and art imitates life, life imitates art. Did see a lot of people squirming and being sick, the normal people, and other people that weren't so normal were absolutely loving it and being like, oh, I can see what I can do to my victims next. So I just hope that we don't have any like copycat people out there in the world, but I feel like us true cinephiles that love film, even if you don't love the horror genre and you just keep your normal capacity in mind and going into it that this is a movie, it's going to be as extreme as possible in the grotesque factor and ick factor, like I said, but I really think you're going to enjoy certain aspects of it, the storyline, just the Halloween factors, all the different parts. He certainly has a sense of humor, just the tip. You'll know what I mean when you see it. So I think it really had it all. It just took it way over the top as far as the deaths. The kills were so extreme. And for people that I know have seen pretty much everything, gross, otherwise, horrifying things, even on the black hole that is the internet to us sometimes, even they said it was pretty rough. So sat through it. I really did like it. I highly recommend it. Again, if you love the horror genre, this movie is for you. Mr. Leone and your team, you did a phenomenal job. I highly commend you for everything you did to bring this to the theaters, get people in the seats, and I know that 3 is going to be as terrifying as can be. I know it's going to be extreme, and we're here for it. So, great review. I do recommend it. Again, if you are a horror fan, but please be prepared. Don't eat too much. That's why people are getting sick in the aisles. They are having to leave, step aside, take some deep breaths. So just be cautious. Enjoy yourself. Go along for the ride, but definitely be ready to be popping some hands over the eyes, because there's a lot of jump scares. There's a lot of points, and you'll know what I mean when you see it towards the end. That's why I don't want to give anything away, where it's so extreme that it's almost like a Quentin Tarantino. Like, he makes it so ridiculous at some points as far as beatings or killings, or just so over the top that it almost takes it down for you a notch. It's like, okay, it's a movie. It's so ridiculous. The blood splattering, the this, the that, the everything. It's beyond. The person is still screaming when clearly they would have been dead, an hour ago. But it's enjoyable in that fact that it's like, okay, it's just a movie. It's so over the top. Okay, because in the beginning you're grossed out, and there's an awesome part, again, the humor and the comedy of it that he laces throughout and threads the film, that really does make it enjoyable if you're not watching some of the killer portions. And a lot of the kills is the one portion that you'll see Sienna, the main character, and Art the Clown in the Halloween store. So enjoy it if you go. If you'd rather not be scared and have nightmares, this may not be the film for you, but highly recommend it. There's a lot to enjoy, and certainly a lot to appreciate for the filmmaker. So to everyone at Terrifier2, you really did a great job. It's commendable, and I highly recommend it for people that love horror films. Go see it if you'd like. Happy Halloween. Enjoy it. 'Tis the season, and I'll see you soon. Bye.